Hi, this is Dean Butler. You're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson with a reminder that the next edition of TV Confidential will premiere next week on this station at the usual time. We will welcome back singer, actress, Broadway star, and Emmy Award-winning producer, Lucy Arnaz. We hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, by now, I'm sure most of you listening this week are aware of the passing of David Lynch. David Lynch, the Oscar-nominated and Emmy-nominated writer, director, and producer who was also the co-creator, along with Mark Frost, of Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, the surrealist mystery horror drama that originally aired for 2 seasons on ABC in the early 1990s, and which later returned for a 3rd season on Showtime in the spring of 2017. David Lynch passed away Wednesday, January 15th at the age of 78. Also a renowned painter and musician, David Lynch first made a name for himself in 1977 with the release of the surrealist independent film Eraserhead, starring Jack Nance and Charlotte Stewart. David Lynch later earned 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Director, first for The Elephant Man, then for Blue Velvet, and Mulholland Drive. You might recall that in June 2016, we had a chance to talk to Charlotte Stewart about working with David Lynch in a conversation that aired here on TV Confidential. Though fans of Little House on the Prairie know her best as school teacher Ms. Beadle, Charlotte Stewart also played Mary X in Eraserhead and Mary Briggs in both the original Twin Peaks on ABC and the Showtime revival series Twin Peaks: The Return. At the time we spoke to Charlotte Stewart in June 2016, she was just about to begin production of Twin Peaks: The Return. Charlotte's book, Little House on the Hollywood Hills, is a memoir of her life inside and outside of television, a life that in many ways embodied the hippie movement in the 1960s, the era of free love in the 1970s, and the danger of cocaine addiction in the 1980s. Little House in the Hollywood Hills is available through our friends at Bear Manor Media. You can also find it at Amazon.com, CharlotteStewartBook.com, and wherever books are sold online. We talked a little bit about this before we started recording, Charlotte. One of my favorite, actually, 2 of my favorite chapters of your book, Little House on the Hollywood Hills, are the chapters where you talk about David Lynch. Now, I admitted this to you before we started recording. I'll say this on the air. I have not seen Eraserhead, but because you not only walk the reader through the process of making Eraserhead, and it took a while to make the movie, and because you give us a window into David's mind as a producer, I feel as though I've seen the movie, and actually I want to see the movie now.
Well, I hope you do. And here's what I tell people. That they want to say, well, what's it about? If you ask David Lynch that, he won't answer. He says, go see for yourself. And I say basically the same thing. What I tell people is, when you go see a David Lynch film, and especially Eraserhead, go like you're going to a museum of art. You go into the museum and you walk into a room and there's a big painting right in front of you. And what I like to do when I go look at paintings in the museum is let it wash over me. Let it speak to me. There is no figuring out Eraserhead. It's an experience. And I've taken people to screenings who hated it with such a passion they could hardly speak. And I tell David that, and he goes, great.
Yeah.
They felt something.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to understand what it's about. Let it get in your gut and either make you mad or make you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Just wants you to feel something. In fact, the first time I saw it, David called me up after, he says, well, Char, what do you think? I said, it's like a toothache. It hurts so bad. He went, swell. That's what I say about Eraserhead.
And along the same lines, because you mentioned, you used the painting analogy.
Uh-huh.
Now, I have seen all 28 episodes of the original Twin Peaks. And like a lot of people, I mean, I thought it was brilliant, and yet in the second season I was a little frustrated because it was I was wondering what was going on. And when
uh-huh.
But as I say, going back to the insights you give your readers on who on David's process. When you talk about David's background as a painter, all of a sudden I had an aha moment, and the second half of the second season made sense to me.
Yeah. Well, it is hard to follow in the second part. And I have an opinion about that. I don't know that it's accurate, but my opinion is David went on to do some other things during the second season. He did come back, but it was in the hands of other people, and I think, and I could be wrong, that the people tried to do what I call, in quotes, Lynchism.
Yeah.
Try to do a Lynchism. And only David Lynch can do a Lynchism. He's the only one qualified. So I think that's where they kind of fell apart there. But we'll see with the new show what's going to happen. Maybe there's a lot of explanations that will come out. I don't know, because I have not seen the script. I saw what I was supposed to do, and I did, my work. But until we see it on the air, we'll never know what was meant by this scene. I'm in a scene that's a little odd. I'll say that, but I can't say anything more because I'm under a contract to not speak about it.
Yes, and I understand non-disclosure agreements and fear of death. So we will not press you. We will not press you anymore about that. Although I will say, once the show went to series, and you got into the second season, instead of being given the entire script, you were only given your pages.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And we were no longer allowed to just drop by the studio anytime we felt like it. Before, it was like a big family, and all we did was, when we weren't working, we'd go hang out, because, who the hell doesn't want to hang out with Kyle MacLachlan? But they said, no, close set. We weren't allowed. We didn't get script. And we didn't know any more of the story than anybody else. In fact, when they ended the first season, when Agent Cooper got shot, we thought we were all out of work. I think, oh my God, what just happened? So David works that way, and Mark Frost writes that way. So I think we're in for a good ride in the new series.
But at the same time, I would imagine, Charlotte, that as an actor, that poses a challenge for you, because okay, you come to it knowing what you know about your character and what you know about the overall context, even if you may not know where this fits in the episode you're filming it in. It asks you, you're only filming X number of pages, kind of asks you to draw on to use your muscles as a performer in ways you may not have used them before.
Well, that's true. I have no idea what in the scene I'm talking about for the new show. I have no idea what went on before, nor do I know what went on afterward. But if I just play, like every single day, we have conversations and all, but we don't know what happened to that other person as soon as they drove off in their car. We go on about our own day. So I think it's more like reality than we don't have to know all the motivations behind everything. Sometimes it's nice not to know. I just went along as Betty Briggs, the eternal optimist, who wore a happy face button to Laura Palmer's funeral. That's my character, and that's all I needed to know.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. This portion of TV Confidential is brought to you by Prison Fit. Prison Fit, a new, comprehensive, and integrated approach to exercise, food, and employment that was developed by prisoners, for prisoners, parolees, and anyone else listening to this program who would like to improve their overall health and well-being. You can learn more about Prison Fit by going to prisonfitlife.com. Prison Fit's mission is to create work, programs, and partnerships that will provide both incarcerated inmates and released or paroled individuals with meaningful employment, training, rehabilitation, and reentry opportunities while treating them with dignity and respect. Prison Fit's main program, Introduction to Small Business, not only has graduated more than 500 imprisoned students, but has produced a 2-year released graduate recidivism rate of 6.7%. Prison Fit will expand its Introduction to Small Business program on a statewide basis in 2025. And this is where you can help. Prison Fit is conducting a Kickstarter campaign throughout the month of January 2025 to offer the public various fitness publications and products. The proceeds from this campaign will not only complete and launch these publications and products, but will provide the necessary resources for Prison Fit's statewide in-prison Introduction to Small Business course. For more information, go to prisonfitlife.com and click on the Go to Kickstarter button. That's prisonfitlife.com. Click on the Go to Kickstarter button. prisonfitlife.com. Click on the Go to Kickstarter button, or go to kickstarter.com and search for Prison Fit.
Hi, this is Allison Arngrim, alias Nellie Olson, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
I also like the chapter on Neil Young. Not only his fascination with trains, but his David Lynch-like approach to making a movie.
Yeah. Well, that was a movie called Human Highway that we made over 25 years ago, and it's being re-released. And you can probably get it on YouTube. You can look it up on YouTube or maybe even on Amazon. I'm not sure. But we had a lot of fun. This was a movie that Neil wrote and directed and starred in, but it's not a starring in as you would see Neil Young, you know, the singer. This is it's a comedy that takes place on the last day on Earth before a nuclear holocaust in a little place called Linear Valley, and it's a little cafe and gas station, and Neil plays Lionel Switch, the garage mechanic, and Dennis Hopper is the fry cook, and I'm the waitress, and Russ Tamblyn is his best pal, and it's a day in the life of Linear Valley, the last day on Earth. And it's wonderful. It's so full of Neil sings quite a bit in it. He has a dream sequence where he believes he's Neil Young, you know, rock and roll star. And so he used footage from an earlier concert tour with Devo. Devo played the nuclear garbage collector. And it's a real hoot. I hope you get a chance to see it.
Yes, you mentioned that it was recently released nationwide in over 400 theaters earlier this year. You could probably find the trailer on YouTube. I would imagine it'll probably be available on video on demand if all goes well before the year is over.
Oh, I think it will. I mean, in fact, insist on it. Go through every source you've got and insist on seeing it because it's really fun. And we had a good time making it. You know, every day we would come to work and I'll just speak for myself. I knew that I was playing, you know, the waitress, Charlotte Goodheart. Charlotte Goodheart.
Yes.
And that I worked in a diner, and then we'd all sit down before we shot and say, okay, this is the day that the boss comes and fires somebody, and then a raccoon comes through the window, and Dennis Hopper hits it with a spatula, and then we'll see what else comes. And then we would just make it up that day. We would make up the whole scene. And after we shot it, with all of our improvisational dialogue, somebody would sit down and write it all up, and that would become the script. But after the fact.
Actress Charlotte Stewart sharing a few memories of working with David Lynch on Eraserhead and Twin Peaks, and on the David Lynch-like approach to filmmaking the musician Neil Young took when he directed Charlotte in the independent film Human Highway. David Lynch passed away Wednesday, January 15th at the age of 78.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries. Ryan's Hope, an oral history of daytime's groundbreaking soap, is available wherever books are sold through Kensington Books, an imprint of Citadel Press. You can also find Ryan's Hope, an oral history of daytime groundbreaking soap, Amazon.com, where books are sold online. Your Heroes, My Grandparents, A Granddaughter's Love by Julie Rogers Homelia, available through Britain Publishing as well as Amazon.com. Well, the Happy Trails exhibit honoring the legacy of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, currently on display at the Hollywood Museum, thehollywoodmuseum.com. Ed Robertson, back for Tony Figueroa, Donna Allen, Bill Grice, and Susan Silver. Thank you so much for listening. Stay healthy, stay safe. We'll talk to you next time on TV Confidential.